Good evening, Matt. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you fine, Chair.
Right, okay, thank you. Welcome, folks, to the first Coatbridge Community Board meeting of 2023. It's Tuesday the 20th of February, and you'll see Matt's already put on screen that this meeting is being live streamed and will be available on YouTube later. Again, as protocol, I'll ask if any representative of community groups and organisations would like to take on the role of chair on a rotational basis. They can contact the Community Partnership team via Community Matters email address. I can see he's all rushing to go and do that this year. Matt, see if you get your hand up.
Thanks, Chair. It's just normally we'd ask people to start the meeting to put their name into the chat bar just so we could, but I didn't see a lot of names in there. I've had a request to maybe do a quick round of introductions before the meeting starts formally, if that's okay with yourself.
Yep, okay. Well, I've got the kind of list in front of me, so if I'll start it. I'm Mullen McBride. I'm the chairperson. I'm also representing the Kitchener Neighbourhood Centre, a third sector organisation in Coatbridge. Matt, you want to go next then?
Sure, thanks. I'm Matt Costello. I'm the Community Partnership Manager, North Lanarkshire Council.
Okay. Just on my list, Councillor Stubbs.
Hi there, Alan Stubbs, Councillor.
Councillor Carragher.
Hi everyone, Tracy Carragher, Councillor for Coatbridge South.
Excuse me, I'm pronouncing this. Is it Deanna Arthur?
That's me, yes. I'm not very good at this internet, I'm afraid. So I apologise for coming in a bit late, but I represent the Voice of Experience just to find out what's going on, and I can report back to them for any useful information, if that's okay.
That's lovely, thank you. Douglas Milne.
Hi there, I'm Douglas Milne. I'm a Senior Community Development Officer at Voluntary Action North Lanarkshire.
Okay, Douglas. Ross Dunn.
Hi, Ross Dunn, Assistant Community Partnership Manager, covering the Coatbridge locality.
Geraldine Woods, Councillor Geraldine Woods.
Councillor Geraldine Woods, Coatbridge South.
Kenneth Stevenson.
Kenneth Stevenson, Councillor, and also convener of the Communities Committee as well. Thanks.
Thank you. I've got Kirkwood Tenants and Residents Association. I don't have a name who's representing them.
Hi, it's Karen Williams from Coatbridge Tenants and Residents Association.
Lynn Smith.
Hi, I'm Lynn Smith from Cliftonville and Coatdyke Community Group.
You, Lynn. Michael McConnell.
Apologies, is this working now?
Yeah, you're on mute, Michael. Carry on.
Yeah, I'm Sergeant McConnell from the Community Police over at Coatbridge. I've been parachuted in at the last minute, so apologies. Inspector McCusker sends his apologies, but he's had a bit of a family emergency to get to, but I'll do my best for him.
Thank you. I've got Michelle Watson.
Hi, I'm the NHS Lanarkshire Health Improvement Practitioner for Coatbridge.
You froze there, Chair. Couldn't really hear what you were saying. You're on mute, Chair. Maybe just until the Chair will get some technical issues, maybe Nicole Savage, maybe introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. Nicole Savage, I'm a Senior Officer in Education and Families for North Lanarkshire Council. Thanks for having me tonight.
Paul, Council.
Cheers, Matt. So I'm Paul Council, Station Commander for Coatbridge, representing Scottish Fire Rescue Service.
Who else hasn't come in? Teresa Strain, if you've been ready.
Hi, I'm Teresa Strain. I'm the Chair of Kitchener's Neighbourhood Centre, and I'm also a Network Manager for Neighbourhood Networks that support people to engage in the local communities.
I think that's everybody that's on the call.
I'm still to come in, Matt.
Sorry,
It's Janie.
sorry, Janie. Sorry.
No worries. No, that's no problem. So, Janie O'Neill, Chief Officer for Education South Locality and Coatbridge Community Coordinator.
We've saved the best to last, Matt. I'm Maureen Simpson. I'm the Community Partnership Officer for Coatbridge area.
I'm missing half the meeting. Sorry, Maureen. Yeah, that's us. Fine now, Chair. We went through everybody now, Chair, for introductions.
Right, can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Sorry, Chair, I think you might be on mute, but from lip reading, I think you said apologies there, so I'll just move on to that just now. So I've got some apologies in tonight. We've got one from Councillor McVeigh, from Councillor Larson, Councillor Robinson. I've got apologies from Marion at Coatbridge Citizens Advice Bureau, and also apologies from Nan at the Safety Zone.
You're on mute, Chair. Just going to move on to the minute of the previous meeting that was issued with the papers. Are there any matters arising from the minute that anybody's wants to raise at the moment? Doesn't appear to be any matters arising. Is there anybody who's at the meeting who wants to propose that the minutes has been acceptable?
I'll propose them, Matt. Tracy Carrigan.
Thank you, Councillor Carrigan. Can anybody second those?
Matt, if I can't remember if I was at it, I'll second it.
We'll check that. If not, I can second them as well. If that's not the case, we'll sort that out between us. Thanks very much. Okay, just to move on to the next item on the agenda, it's the local priorities, the local outcome improvement plan updates, and the first one I'm going to look at on there is poverty, and it's over to yourself, Maureen.
Just a very quick update on that from me, and it's just to say that our community drop-in points have been very, very successful across Coatbridge, and that's with no small thanks to our partners in the community who have really stepped up and sort of ran with this idea to the extent that amongst the positive feedback that we're getting for it, what we're also getting is lots of ideas. The groups are looking at additional funding from other places to take over when this funding runs out. So it's becoming less about a war in place and more about what they've been able to do in that time while they've been providing a war in place, and now they're taking those ideas forward.
Okay. Thanks for that, Maureen. Is there any questions for Maureen on that update? No questions that I can see. Moving on to still with item 4, the second part of that, mental health and wellbeing. Again, back to yourself, Maureen, for an update.
Sorry, I'm doing this. I'm taking the action. Not tonight. I need an extra pair of hands here. Again, just a very quick update from me, and it's about the Coatbridge Health and Social Care Consortium. We are currently running a PB project across Coatbridge. There's £10,000 for local groups. The voting opened 2 weeks ago. It's open for another 2 weeks, and then we have an in-person voting event on the 16th of March in St Patrick's Tea Room. So anybody's welcome to come along. To come along. We're hoping as many partners as possible will also come along on the day. It's basically local people voting for local projects to get funded. So it is very much people power. Saying what's needed in the area and voting for those projects to get the funding. So it's going incredibly well so far. I will share the link with everyone again after the meeting. Please share it with your networks across Coatbridge and encourage more people to vote. Thank you.
Thanks, Maureen. Any questions on that update from Maureen? No questions on that. Moving on to the next part of the item on the agenda, it's digital inclusion, and it's over to Douglas Milne for an update. Douglas.
Thanks, Matt. Members of the board here have been participating in the Driving Digital Locally subgroup, which covers the whole of North Lanarkshire. An update outlining the progress that we've made as a subgroup to date was circulated with the papers for the meeting tonight. The group is working to make progress on a number of issues, particularly around the community benefit that will hopefully arise from North Lanarkshire Council's contract with our digital infrastructure partner, Comsworld. So the next meeting for that is scheduled for the end of March, Thursday, March 23rd. With regard to our own digital subgroup here within Coatbridge, we're still looking for members to get involved. So if you'd like to do that, please get in contact with me. We'll be looking to reconvene this group going forward again soon. And we just discuss things like training opportunities and funding opportunities to develop digital inclusion activity within Coatbridge itself. Just one last point, I'll be attending an event on Thursday to find out more about a new digital fund. So I'll circulate details of that to board members once we get some feedback from that. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Douglas. Any questions on Douglas's digital inclusion update?
Where is that actually being held?
The event, sorry.
Where is the actual digital inclusion classes being held?
What I can do, if you drop me an email, I'll look some out for you and I can send them to you, if that would help. I'll put my email in the chat, and if you drop me an email, we'll get that organised.
Right, thank you.
Any other questions just now? Don't see anything at the moment. Okay, just before we move on, just to see if you can check with the chair. Willie, I don't know if you can't see your face, Willie, but can you hear us, or are you going to be able to take on?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Right, I can't get my camera to work. It keeps calling and saying there's somebody else sharing my application. It's not letting me, and I'm dropping in and out, but I'll try and continue, Matt, if that's okay.
No bother, we're on to item 5 now. If you want to move
okay, again, my apologies. I don't know what the situation is. Item 5 is the town and community hubs, town visions, etc. And I believe Ross is going to give us a few updates on that.
Yep, thanks, Chair. So really the most pertinent update for Coatbridge is we're about to start the consultation for the St Stephen's Community Hub. So I'm not sure if board members have maybe seen recent publicity around the latest community hub that North Lanarkshire have completed the new mains. So we're going to be aiming for a similar thing, but the St Stephen's Hub is going to have a specific community wing attached to it. And the early engagement is going to be seeking to get the views of the community around Siteside and Green End, the wider Coatbridge community, about what that space should look like. So as well as there being the school element, there will be a specific community element about that. There's been some initial visioning workshops held with the architects and designers and with council officers, and that's now getting to the stage that it will be getting moved out into the community. Some people had previously got in touch with us about ideas of how that space could be used, what they would like to use it for, when they would like to access it, and that's both partners and members of the community. So everyone that's contacted us previously, we'll share your details with the design team to make sure you're included moving forward in the consultation. And if anyone else, be it partner that's on the board or a member of the community or local group, if we're interested in being part of that engagement process around the community hub, you can just drop us an email at Community Matters. We'll make sure you're included in any events or sessions moving forward. That's all on the community hubs. Chair, if anyone's got any questions, happy to pick them up.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Ross? No, nothing. Okay, thanks. Item 5.2, Ross, is local engagement or consultation. Are you leading on that as well?
I'm guessing so, Chair. Very brief tonight. We don't have any live consultations going on just now. But what I would say, moving into next year, starting a programme of play upgrades and refurbishments across the whole of North Lanarkshire. And we will be looking to engage with groups in local areas around the work that will be going on with these. We'll also have our ongoing engagement around the local development programme for proposed projects as they approach the delivery phase. So we'll keep board members updated and we'll be liaising directly with local groups on any suitable projects.
That's great, Ross, thank you. Item 5.3 is community agreement update from Van El. I know there's quite a large report being circulated. Is there anybody going to add to that? Douglas, I see you're representing Van El. Will you head for this tonight?
Certainly am, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you know, folks, the community agreement was previously known as a community concordat, but it's been recently rebranded. As the Chair said, quite a substantial update has been circulated with the board papers tonight. But just to bring to your attention, we're going to be organising a series of community conversations in the next month or so, which will focus on what people actually want to see within the community agreement itself. And again, I'll circulate these details as soon as we have them. Thank you.
Okay. I'd imagine you've all read the report from Van El over the last day or so. Has anybody any comments, any questions for Douglas? No, that's great, thank you. Moving on to item 6 for community matters is contextual safeguarding. PowerPoint presentation by Nicole Savage.
Thanks very much, Chair. I'm not going to put the PowerPoint up. I'd rather people kind of got to recognise who I am and have a conversation with people, if that's all right. The PowerPoint presentation is kind of useful as well, though, because it does have a number of resources on it, one of which is a video that's about 4 minutes long that I would urge people to watch. Within it, it's a video about a number of young people that are kind of walking around within their community, and there's quite kind of harrowing things that happen to them, including exploitation. But what I wanted to kind of note is that the people that really kind of see what happens to these young people are community members. So the people that are kind of seeing what's happened and got the interface with these young people that are at risk of exploitation are community members. So my role within the council is I am, or I was, a frontline children families social worker. And these are the kind of children that I was working with on a daily basis. A lot of the things that happened to them accumulated over a number of years. There were significant trauma that they faced. And so I'm part of a kind of number of people within the council that have been working quite hard on trying to disrupt criminal activity, exploitation within communities. But the only way we really can do that is by getting all the partners to work in alongside each other and understanding the root cause of some of the kind of issues that are happening. So tonight I'm really just here just to kind of say my name and what I'm doing, and then ask that we look at having a one-off community board where I can try and explain what we've been doing over the past 2 years with partners, and also what our vision is for North Lanarkshire. We are the first council in Scotland to be implementing something called contextual safeguarding, and really that is about kind of disrupting the context of harm, trying to make our community safer, but also joining the dots between the people that actually have that interface with young people. So yeah, it's just an opportunity just to say who I am, what we're doing, and hopefully we can have an opportunity to have a one-off board in the future that people can come to learn a little bit more and be part of the kind of community guardianship that we need to disrupt the harm that's happening in communities.
That's great, Nicole. Thank you for that. I'm sure we'd be very interested in moving forward and listening more what you've got to say in relation to your potential for this one-off board meeting. I'm sure it's something Ross and Matt and everybody else can obviously take a hint on. That's great. Does anybody have any questions for Nicole? We're all very quiet tonight.
I'm getting off lightly tonight, aren't I?
I know we're going off very light. I've not seen that pen moving once yet, Maureen. Okay, item 7, standing agenda items, is the community coordinators update. Jane O'Neill, Head of Services Community Champion. Jane, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. So I'll pick up on a couple of things which tie into what Ross was talking about earlier on regarding the community hubs. And we mentioned about the New Mains and St Bridget's Community Hub, which obviously has just opened a week past yesterday, Monday 20th. The children were welcomed into the hub there, and the facilities are fantastic. I know some of the elected members on the call have been out and visited the hub, and I suppose it's just time to get excited about what's coming for the Coatbridge area as well. So I'll just do a wee update and a couple of things around that first of all, before going into other aspects of council business which affect Coatbridge, which I'm sure you'll be interested in. So I'm going to read from the sheet, so bear with me just to make sure that I don't miss anything. Carnborough Community Hub started on site on the 10th of January 22. Approximate anticipated completion is August 2023, and the planning application is now submitted, so we know about that one. St Kevin's Community Hub, pre-construction phase planning application now submitted, and then Ross had mentioned St Stephen's Community Hub, and the project launched January 2023, anticipated on site summer 24. And Ross had said about reaching out to the community and partners, and that is obviously looking to see what we can do for the community and with the community, importantly. And indeed, as I say, if you look at New Mains and St Bridget's, even online, or I'm sure if you wanted to have a visit, we could organise that. It really is a fantastic facility for the whole community for generations to come. So New Monkland Cemetery extension to existing cemetery is noted here as well. Moving away obviously from the hubs. Berwick Street, works progressing on 19 new affordable homes for North Lanarkshire Council, so a piece of good news there. Anticipated completion in November 2023, and there's contacts here if anybody wants a wee bit more information on it. If you could put it in the chat bar and I'll give you the name of the person to contact specifically about it, or you can do it via myself, of course. 4 towers refurbishment, Blair Grove, Merriston, Glen and Millbrae. Final testing and commissioning phase scheduled for completion Q1 23-24. Shawhead demolition on-site completion programmed for Q2 23-24. And then it talks here also about Dundivan Gardens refurb. Works will be completed 22-23. And then of course something that I know that we'll be aware of as well is support for Ukrainians and the resettlement programme. High Coats Coatbridge, works completed Q4 22-23. And then also from Housing, Property and Projects, there's an update on Lomond Road, Blackburn Houses upgrades, completion programmed for Q4 24-25. And I'll just check I've not missed anything. Quite a lot of information there about housing and also to do with the community hubs as well. So that's the update for me, Chair. And if anybody would like me to find out any more about them, please just put something in the chat bar and I can get more information. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Moving on, item 7.2 is the local development programme, or LDPs, if we've come to know them. And Matt, you got an update on them, please?
Just briefly, Chair, the report that was issued with the papers last week just gives some details about the projects, how they are progressing currently, and any further information requested from the board in terms of any proposals for further projects, amendments, etc. It's all contained within the report. There's a couple I would highlight. The wheeled sports projects that have been taking place in Wifflet Park and in Green End. The contract's been awarded for these and they'll due to be on site hopefully within the next few weeks, and we'll be able to start to see some work in the ground on that. And discussions are also taking place regarding the play area in Kirkshaws at the Parents Acts for Safe Play area, and that's something that should be ongoing over the next few weeks, couple of months as well. So it's good to report some really good progress and some really good facilities there will be for a number of the areas. But just to ask if there's any questions on the LDP, then I'm happy to pick that up, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions for Matt? We're very, very quiet tonight, aren't we?
Willie, I've put
Sorry.
my hand up. It's Tracy, but actually, I think it should have been Janie. And sorry, Janie, for putting you on the spot. If you don't mind, can I ask a question? like going back ways. I've just had notification that the school transport consultation has gone up online. I think it's important to highlight to the members present here tonight and members of the community. Well, firstly, the reason that's happened and to encourage people to go in there and you know, like take part and get their views across. Apologies, because I've only just had the message sent to me that it's online, so I didn't know, and that's why I didn't bring it up when you spoke, Janie.
No problem, Councillor Carricker, that's fine. Thank you also for making me aware of that. Like yourself, I was on committee this afternoon, then into a meeting and straight onto this meeting. So, yep, of course, if that consultation has gone online, then yeah, that's there for everybody to take part in. So I don't know if there's anything more specifically around that you were looking for me to say, Councillor Carricker, in this forum.
No, I'll not ask you to say it, but I'll say it if it's okay. This was a decision that was taken at the budget meeting last week. The consultation to ask people's views on well, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know exactly what it says, but basically the budget decision was to cut the provision of school transport back to statutory provision. Clearly there'll be areas within North Lanarkshire where this is going to cause a lot of difficulty, particularly actually within my own ward. Carnbrough, I believe that there's nobody within Carnbrough that will now be eligible for school transport. So this is about looking into safe walking routes for them. I hope somewhere like Carnbrough would be exempt from this and a school bus would be put on. But essentially that's all I know, because as I said, it's just going on online, but that's the reason it is happening. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor. I see we've got a hand up from the representative of Coatbridge, Tiarnez. You want to come in? Your question?
Thanks, Lily. It was to see, Matt, if you have an update on the food project that you put forward, please.
Sorry, what was that? Didn't actually catch that. What project was that?
There's two Coatbridge projects you put forward. One's for a dog walking area and one's for a play park. It was just to see what was happening with that, please.
Matt, can you come back on that?
Thanks, Chair. Maybe ask Maureen if you could, or Ross, for any updates on those specifically.
Yeah, I can jump in there if that's okay, Chair. So those projects are actually included in the LDP report tonight. So people haven't read it. We've actually got 6 projects that are now seeking approval in the Coatbridge area. So we have the Coatbridge area from consultations carried out locally. We've identified a desire for a junior playground development and a dog walking area. And then we've also got some other projects on there around parking, some signage and some local fencing and lighting upgrades. So there's 6 projects that we're seeking approval in principle to take forward from the board. And if that's approved tonight, we'll be adding them onto the delivery programme in principle, and then we'll start exploring the delivery options for them moving forward.
Thanks for that, Ross. Okay. Councillor Stubbs, I see you've got your hand up.
It's actually on the kind of breaking news of the school transport consultation. Like, word that's going live at some point this evening. Apologies, Janie, for putting you on the spot, but are you able to explain why there doesn't appear any public meetings as part of this consultation, whereas 5 years ago there were in the locality to try and garner that information, and for the members of the community? Do we envisage a situation where the consultation, where the responses to the consultation will have actually any effect?
Sorry, Councillor Stubbs, it was cutting out a wee bit there. I think you were asking about meetings. I've not seen the consultation live, what's actually said on it, so I can only apologise for that. I've just not had a moment to have a look. But I can certainly check with my colleague who's leading on this and get more information and come back to you on whether or not we're envisaging. I think you said any public meetings in comparison to previously. I can certainly try and get that information for you, but I don't have the answer to that question just now. Sorry about that.
Just the second part, and it's maybe something you'll need to come back to me as well. I think I'm really having the same problem with this. to be cutting out when people are talking. Do we envisage a situation response to the consultation will have any effect on the decision?
Sorry, Councillor Stubbs, I missed half of what you said there. I'm really sorry. I got like the beginning and the end, but I didn't get what you were actually asking about what would affect it. Could you say that again for me, please?
Will the public is there any possibility that it can have an effect on the decision?
Not sure if I would be able to is this able to answer that just now, Councillor Stubbs, but can definitely come back to you on that. As I said, I'll discuss it with my colleagues, and I'm sure, as you know, there's been a lot of discussion around it, and the decision was taken on Thursday, as you're aware, so can come back to you on that, Councillor Stubbs, as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Matt, I see you've got your hand up.
Thanks, Chair. It's just another kind of brief update in relation to progress of a local development programme project. You'll recall previous board meetings there's been information brought regarding Moto X, which was the purchase of quad bikes to support the police activity in local communities. It's just to confirm that we've now purchased 4 quad bikes, and there's actually a launch today, a kind of photo opportunity today with the police, etc., at the Civic Centre, just to say these quad bikes are now operational. They're now based across North Lanarkshire and will be able to access by the police across North Lanarkshire, across the 9 community boards, to deal with the activities of quad bikes or other off-road bikes that are causing problems in the area. So it's just to make the board aware that that's now progress to purchase and are now operational. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, moving on. With quite a few gremlins tonight, this IT. Maybe speak to Douglas about that to see if he can give us some insight on what's been happening. Item 8 is open space strategy engagement, and Ross Dunn, going to give us an update on that, please.
Thanks, Chair. I've actually just got a statement to read out that's been provided to me around the open space. So it just says that North Lanarkshire Council is starting to develop an ambitious open space strategy. This will set out a strategic framework of North Lanarkshire's policies and proposals for the development, maintenance and use of open spaces and green networks. A central feature of successful places is having good local access to space that people want to use. This means it's important we hear the views of people who use North Lanarkshire's open spaces and the opportunities. Beginning in April, we're inviting people and groups to respond to a survey asking their views on the quantity, quality and accessibility of open space and play opportunity in North Lanarkshire. That's the statement, Chair.
Thank you. Again, I was having trouble hearing that, Ross. I think we've all been having some major issues with our sound, and obviously my picture quality tonight's been very, very poor. So I apologise at my end for causing the disruption at the start. But I think unfortunately we've covered everything tonight. We've managed to get through it with a bit of trouble, and I'd like to thank you all for your attendance tonight. And date and time of next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday.
Chair, Councillor Stubbs has raised a hand.
Right, sorry, Councillor, I've just noticed that. Carry on, Councillor.
Just under any other possibility, a couple of things. I was wondering if Connell's been kind of landed into this. I wonder if there's any, if you can give any update on any enforce the 20 mile an hour speed limits that are going to be brought in around the schools in Coatbridge, his team and from other teams within Police Scotland. If he has any, get that maybe at the next time, and perhaps we could put an update from Police Scotland and the fire into agendas. My second part of AOCB would team and just what are we doing to engage with community organisations, because I'm looking at the attendance here tonight and previous ones as well, and the vast majority are either elected representatives or members of staff of North Lanarkshire Council, rather than that this is supposed to be about, and getting community organisations and community people into these boards. So what engagement are we having with folk to try and encourage them to attend as part of this community board?
Thanks for that, Chancellor Stubbs. Again, breaking up again, but I think the kind of just the story which we're looking for some update on the kind of 20 mile an hour speed limit, within the Coatbridge localities and also an improvement of community engagement. So maybe the policing committee maybe gives a wee update on where they stand in the speed limit situation.
Hi there. Firstly, can everyone hear me? Is it working okay in this end? Yeah.
So far so good.
Yeah. Well, as it was said earlier, I was parachuted in, but yeah, as a community sergeant, we are aware of there are issues, ongoing issues with the community and speeding areas. We are tasked on different things every day by our chief inspector, but we are sort of re-amalgamating the community police to have a sort of more streamlined issue between Coatbridge and Airdrie. But the guys are basically, we're going to deal with it. We're going to get out and about as much as we can. I will put in the local community police inbox here and my personal email should there be any further questions, or if suddenly this hasn't actually transmitted through the gremlins that are going on. With regards to that, I've not been cited on any of the actual minutes or anything else here, so I'm really sorry if this is a bit vague, but I'll take any questions if you've got anything further.
Thank you. Paul, let's see you've got your hand up. You want to come in, please?
Yeah, so just to touch base, Councillor Stubbs is obviously looking for a bit more of an update from ourselves and Police Scotland. So I'm more than happy that there's obviously stuff outside the report that's submitted. It's kind of happened over the last quarter. So I'm more than happy just to give some good news stories, probably for ourselves and Police Scotland that have been working together, just for awareness of the group. So there's quite significant trends for ourselves at Langloan Street, in particular with the Langloan Sports Centre. Just for relevance for yourselves, we were attending sort of 15, 20 incidents a week at the Langloan Street with regards to antisocial behaviour. Working with Michael, particularly his team, and Inspector McCusker, we've managed to do a massive reduction piece of work down there, issuing residents, the majority of the incidents were bins getting stolen from residents and obviously getting set on fire. We went down, did some engagement work, issued a lot of padlock and chains to the residents in that area. As a result, there's a massive reduction down there. Another sort of good news stories for ourselves. So 2 young girls towards Christmas time last year, they actually, before the arrival of the fire service, police or the Scottish Ambulance Service, they actually performed a bit of a rescue for a young girl that was on ice down at the Blairbeff Road, sort of the canal end. And as a result of that, that's been recognised by ourselves and our partners, and there's a wee ceremony for them on Friday just to obviously thank them from ourselves and our colleagues at Police Scotland. So there is other stuff that's going on in the area. And just finally, touched on with the Ukrainian refugees up at High Coats. Again, we're working with Eleanor Rafferty and a resettlement manager, and we're going to be going in there and doing a bit of engagement with them as well. So that's just a bit more stuff than what's mentioned in the board report. But as always, happy to take any questions or anyone's got any feedback.
Thanks for that, Paul. Anybody got any questions for him? Councillor Carragher, and then I'll bring Stephen in next.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I have just recently received an inquiry relating to bins being set on fire in and around like Kitshaw's Avenue, Moshnook Street. I'm just wondering if I have sent an inquiry off about it, but I'm just wondering if you've got any information on that. Also, you mentioned the Langloan Sports Centre, the Outdoor Sports Centre. I'm sure you're aware there's a big campaign going on about that right now. My understanding was that it was the fire brigade, the council were going off the information from the fire brigade to say that it wasn't deemed safe because of fire damage. I think it was in 2019. I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate that you give any information here, but if you can, is there anything that you can update us on?
Awareness. We have been contacted for a statement. Obviously, that statement was put in one of the newspapers that we'd made that comment. There has been a statement released by the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service. The responsibility with the safety and the structure of that building sits with the responsible people and the owners, which, as far as I was aware, is the council. So it's not our position to say that's unsafe. The owners of the building have the responsibility to deem things to be safe and unsafe. With regards to Kirkshaw Avenue, we'll get crews out there and engaging with the community and doing a bit of awareness up there. So this is sort of platforms if necessarily not everything's reported to the fire service. Sometimes it goes to our partners at Police Scotland, but I will certainly get that raised and we'll get crews up there and doing some bit of engagement up there.
That's brilliant. I wonder if there's any, I can't see a chat bar here, but if you would be able to like provide your email address to me.
I'll put my email address in the chat bar just now. No problems. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Stephen, you want to come in and then Ross will bring you in after him?
Yeah, just quickly on the two young girls, we publicised that on the group and we raised it with the local MSP. So he brought it up in the Scottish Parliament, just congratulating them on the great work in alerting the local services to save the older gentleman down at the canal. I sent in an update of a few things that's went on down the canal. You can have a look at the update. There's probably not enough time to share it tonight, but it was basically we've repaired a stretch on the opposite side of the canal path. We raised some money and we had some surveyors down there about a year ago, and they gave us some advice. So we've done that. We spent a few £1,000. We raised that out with North Lanarkshire. A stairwell has been repaired on the canal path. That's been done also. And over the Christmas period, we sold £1,000 worth of calendars, and we've donated that money to Shining Stars Group, which is a local group in Coatbridge, and the St Andrews Hospice. So we just gave them £500 each. So that's just a quick update from what we've been doing down at the Canal Group.
Thank you, Stephen. Ross.
Thanks, Chair. It's just to pick up a couple of things, maybe reverse order. Stephen sent as a short presentation, so we will share that out with the entire board list so that people can have a look. There's some images and things in there. And maybe, Stephen, we could put your name on the agenda for the next meeting, just so that we've got some time sorted in for you to be able to talk about the Friends Group and anything that's emerging or anything you want to share, if that would be okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Someone else is supposed to join the meeting tonight. I was kind of tied up in meetings all day, and I just get back into the house. So I just came in late. So no problem. Next time I can give an update and send it in early.
That's fine. We'll take a little note. We'll make sure the group's got a space on the agenda for whoever's attending. They can have a chat about things. Continuing in reverse order, we'll just pick up something you were saying about the things. I've just recently purchased about 800 metres of chain, a few hundred padlocks. We've had them delivered. Martin Burns, the local authority liaison officer. There's a requirement for further change, and I think if that's something that might assist in the Coatbridge area specifically, happy to have that chat and see if that's a resource you want in Coatbridge as well, maybe to make it easier to access. And if that would maybe help you when you're out and about to tackle some of the bonfires. And then just my other note is just Councillor Stubbs, you had mentioned about doing to engage with groups. So we work with a range of groups across the whole of Coatbridge, and do encourage all of them to attend the community boards, whether established constituted groups or even local groups of residents that we're working on very localised projects with, or even advising. I think we have maybe 5 separate groups on tonight from individuals that are representing them, and usually we would have maybe between sort of 6 and 9 groups that would attend. In relation to some of the other community boards, it's actually quite a healthy number we have when they've got, I suppose, a full house. We do seem to have a slightly lower attendance tonight. To assure you that engagement continues, that we actively encourage people to attend the boards. We're in contact with them on a regular basis, not just in the run up to a board when we're sharing papers, and that work will continue with board cycles to promote what they can do, promote how local people can be involved at all different levels, and also to support them to access the board where required.
Thanks, Ross. Stephen, I see you've still got your hand up. You want to come back in, or you?
I've had it on by mistake. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I think that's probably end of business tonight. Then we've covered quite a few things. Again, I apologise for the IT problems tonight. I think we're all encouraged. We'd seemingly get involved in some of it. The sound wasn't great. I could appreciate. Douglas, it's saying there was somebody was mirror sharing my camera. I don't know what that means. Maybe you could advise me on that. And again, thank you for your attendance tonight, folks. And we'll see you at the next board meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, the 25th of May. Thank you very much and good night.
Thanks, Chair. Good night.
Thanks, Chair. Good night.